Hi, everybody. My name is Daniel Atkinson, and I'm the manager of public programs here at the MCA Chicago. I want to welcome you all to this event, 6 Scores for Yoko Ono, in celebration of the Yoko Ono exhibition, Music of the Mind. If everyone could please, there's a lot of quiet parts here. If everyone could please take out their phone quick and check to make sure it's off. I would appreciate that very much. Thank you all for coming. Thank you also to our generous funders. We are incredibly grateful to the Chanel Culture Fund for the support that makes the MCA DNA Research Initiative possible, including the work of Curatorial Fellow Andrew Park, who was a curatorial lead on this program. Thank you, Irene Kim, Head of U.S. Arts and Culture, for this impactful gift and for being here tonight with your colleagues from Chanel. And just to speak from experience, what the Culture Fund allows us to do is experimental programs like this in conjunction with amazing people like Andrew. As part of that work, Andrew brought together an ensemble of folks, some of them from LA and one person from Chicago, including my friend over here, Lydia Ferreira, who is going to join us in just a second. Lydia is going to be our kind of interpreter for things that are happening and our guide for the various scores that we will see here. Okay. So without further ado, if you could please welcome to the stage curator and art historian Lydia Ferreira.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Daniel. Welcome again, everyone, to this evening's program, 6 Scores for Yoko Ono. My name is Lydia. I'm a performance art historian and curator, and as Daniel said, I'll be guiding us through the program this evening, offering some background information as we experience the performance of 6 different scores. Before we begin, though, I'd like to thank again Daniel, Brianna Van Scoik, Matthew Test, and Sam Clapp, and the rest of the production and performance and public programs teams here at the MCA for making tonight possible and for making this such a wonderful experience for all of us. We're also so grateful to the Chanel Culture Fund, which has generously supported this event. So tonight, one of the 6 scores has been composed by Andrew Park and will be performed for the first time by Andrew, Kauru, and Gordon. The other 5 scores were conceived in the 1960s in the context of a radical artistic formation known as Fluxus. Fluxus was an international network of artists who experimented with objects, sounds, actions in ways that entirely reimagined what an artwork could be and how it could live in the world. Though formally founded in late 1962 by the Lithuanian-American artist and designer George Maciunas, Fluxus in fact coalesced much more gradually as artists like Mieko Shiomi, June Paik, and Yoko Ono, whose works we will experience tonight, independently experimented with sound and composition between and across the United States, Japan, Germany, and London. The written score was at the core of Fluxus activities, simple instructions for an action or series of actions that can be performed by anyone and is perhaps most importantly flexible. A Fluxus score can generate infinite interpretations and realizations, and it is never enacted the same way twice. Fluxus scores contain instructions for all sorts of actions and relations, but many of them involve making sound and interacting with musical instruments. The avant-garde composer John Cage was an important figure in the formation of Fluxus, and Cage conceived of music expansively as the production of sound or as events in sound space, a radical redefinition that opened musical composition up to incidental noise, ambient sound, and chance events, and the interactions between our bodies and the objects around us. In keeping with this ethos, Yoko Ono outlined the goals of her avant-garde project in a written statement from 1966. Quote, "When a violinist plays, which is incidental, the arm movement or the bow sound? Try arm movement only. I think of my music as more of a practice, gyo, than a music. The only sound that exists to me is the sound of the mind. My works are only to induce music of the mind in people." End quote. For this program, Ono's initial question, what would it mean to play the violin without the conventional sound of the bow on its strings, is being taken as a challenge. How does one play the violin without the bow to create music not just in our literal environment, but in our minds? The way that Fluxus as a whole was also preoccupied with the classical body of the violin is the motivation for this program. Tonight, all manner of extended technique and physical manipulation of the instrument will take place using a variety of household materials and tools. Ono's involvement in the Destruction in Art Symposium in London, also in 1966, signaled a powerful tension in her project as it related to Fluxus. How can destruction become a positive force? And how might it ultimately lead to the reparative act of mending? So the program will begin with 2 Fluxus scores by Mieko Shiomi. She was born in Japan in 1938 and trained in classical music. She attended the Tokyo National University of Fine Arts and Music. And as a student there, she co-founded Group Ongaku, or Music Group, an avant-garde ensemble of fellow students that experimented with improvisation and, to borrow Shiomi's words, previously unthought of sounds. The year 1963 marked the beginnings of Shiomi's engagement and correspondence with Fluxus practitioners like Ono and Paik, whom she first met in Japan. The year prior, however, with no knowledge of the fledgling Fluxus activities then happening in New York and Germany, she had been writing what she called action poems, short sentences instructing readers to perform simple actions. So the 2 scores we'll see tonight show Shiomi's intense interest as a composer in the spatial relations between objects, bodies, and actions. The first is Event for the Late Afternoon, and her instructions are: suspend a violin with a long rope from the roof of a building till it nearly reaches the ground. The second is Falling Event, also from 1963. 1, let something fall from a high place. 2, let yourself fall from a high place using an elevator, parachute, rope, or anything else, or using nothing. Ono, like the other Fluxus artists represented in this program, was already a well-traveled figure by the 1960s. She had grown up in Tokyo, gone to college in New York, and presented her work in London, all before her 30th birthday. And she would continue to move between these three locations, fostering an exciting international network of experimental art. The triangulation of Japan, the United States, and England in Ono's life is the starting point for the following text-based score. As a musical composition that comprises 6 continuous movements, Tea for 3 is centered around a Japanese tea ceremony practitioner, while 2 other instrumentalists each play traditional American and British songs, Yankee Doodle and God Save the King, to pay homage to Ono's cosmopolitan outlook. Her engagement with older Japanese ideas has always been a recurring theme in her art, ranging from the tying of wishes to plants in her Wish Tree series, which is upstairs, to kintsugi in Mend Piece, which we'll experience at the end of this program. Like Fluxus performance, the Japanese tea ceremony, chanoyu, pays close attention to and finds creative value in simple actions. Essentially, it stages a social interaction between host and guest that focuses on the artistic and philosophical appreciation of deliberately chosen objects, utensils, and tea. The culture of offering whisked tea evolved from the 8th century CE, when matcha, powdered green tea, was imported from China by Zen monks as a medicine and support for their meditation practices. By the 16th century, chanoyu crystallized into a discipline and art form under tea masters such as Sen no Rikyu. In Japan, many schools of tea have developed over the last 500 plus years, but they all share a common foundation in temai, or the tea-making procedure. Each temai is carefully composed to embody the host's thoughtfulness and hospitality. Tonight's performance excerpts only the temai, without using matcha, as a choreography that experiments with the sonic potential of the ceremony. Tea for 3 follows the preparation of a bowl of imagined tea, 1, opening, as well as the cleaning required to conclude the ceremony, 2, closing. The methodical rhythmic pulse of the entire performance matches the duration of a second and is reinforced by the timing of footsteps, the pendulum-like motion of the suspended violin, and the repetition of a swung rhythm reminiscent of the 1920s show tune, Tea for 2. Several dramatic whisking moments punctuate the deliberate flow of time as the practitioner's chasen, bamboo whisk, imitates a percussion instrument and unites the ensemble. Overall, the sound of water is activated in 3 different forms, and the score also encourages you to listen for the unexpected harmonies among bodily motion, electronically amplified objects, and ambient sound. Okay. The next two scores, which will be performed one after the other, were conceived by June Paik and George Maciunas. Paik is perhaps best known today for his pioneering work with video and other broadcast media, but like many other members of Fluxus, he was also a trained musician, having studied music at the University of Tokyo in the 1950s. Many of his works of the 60s were experimental compositions using musical instruments like the violin, the cello, or the piano. In keeping with Ono's question from 1966, which began our program, Paik made several works that experimented with the many possible ways a violin could be played or made to produce sound, like, for example, by being dragged across the ground by a string. After first performing violin with string in 1961, Paik performed the work dozens of times until the final performance in 1975 for the 12th Annual Avant-Garde Festival of New York. Unlike many other Fluxus artists, however, Paik did not often create written scores. The existence of this score was passed down anecdotally and through now iconic photographs of Paik's past performances. Maciunas, however, did produce a written score for Solo for Violin, a composition he dedicated to the Italian composer Silvano Busotti. The score contains instructions that build in intensity, from play any sentimental tune and blow through sound holes, to bite violin, scratch violin with sharp tool, and drive a nail into violin, among other playful, funny, destructive actions. The typewritten score also includes a handwritten edition that opens the work to endless reinterpretation. You can make any pattern you wish or superimpose over someone else's score, he wrote. And in true Fluxus fashion, both of these scores appropriate and transform the body of the violin, aiming to deconstruct the instrument's vaunted status as a symbol of both elite culture and classical music tradition. Like Shiomi, Ono was writing instructions for simple actions to be performed by herself or others years before encountering Fluxus activities in New York in the 60s. Her famed New York loft on Chambers Street was a locus of Fluxus activity and interchange, and she hosted and organized concerts of Fluxus events where artists could enact their scores among peers and exchange ideas. Ono also very famously self-published Grapefruit in July 1964. Sorry, I got it confused. A book of her instruction pieces that was issued in a limited edition of 500. And yet the written score is not at the core of her practice. Like a game of telephone, Ono wanted her works to be spread by word of mouth so that they would transform and change over time. Mend Piece was among several audience participation works, like her famous Cut piece, that Ono created in 1966 while living in London. The work was first displayed as part of her London solo exhibition, Unfinished Objects and Paintings. Since this first presentation, Mend Piece has been exhibited all over the world in a number of different forms and variations, including a version on display in the galleries upstairs. It is a key example of a Fluxus-oriented artwork that has had a significant afterlife within museums as a participatory installation. Most commonly, the work is presented as a white table or tables, as upstairs, littered with fragments of broken ceramics. Participants are invited to gather around the table and mend or repair the broken vessels with glue, tape, and string. Her instructions for the work have varied slightly between versions. For a recent presentation of Mend Piece in London in 2021, they were very simple. Mend carefully, think of mending the world at the same time. As it creates a space for communal and collaborative acts of repair, the work also makes clear reference to Ono's own heritage and the Japanese tradition of kintsugi. This is a practice linked to the repair of the ceramic vessels used in chanoyu, the Japanese tea ceremony, and involves mending broken pottery with lacquer that has been combined with powdered gold, silver, or platinum. Rather than attempting to conceal the breakage, kintsugi leaves visible traces of the object's history. In the spirit of Fluxus, we are interpreting Mend Piece in a new way for the final performance of the evening. Gordon, Kaoru, Andrew, and I will work together to repair the broken violins using tape, string, Band-Aids, rubber bands, gauze, and other mending materials.
for the people in the back, I'm going to give you a little more information about the violin that I was dragging around. Obviously, you saw Gordon's, which is in, pretty destroyed looking pieces, but the one I was dragging actually seems to be mostly intact. Part of the neck, where you put your fingers down to make pitches, that flew off while I was dragging it, and I believe somebody picked it up and took it and put it in their pocket, and I think that's beautiful and very in keeping with Ono's practice. So we're going to try to clean up a little bit here, and we'll play the violin a little bit as we're repairing it to give you a sense of maybe what it sounds like at the moment, and we'll show you the finished product. And thank you for coming.
Is it the top?
Yeah, this goes here.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, you found one.
Yeah.
This is the chin rest that fell off and reattached.
Oh, that landed.
That was the chin rest, kind of loops around.
Okay.
So you can probably.
Look, I think we have the skeleton.
Yeah. Maybe tape or some gauze on top.
Maybe I'll
Gauze and then tape.
use the rope.
Yep. Do you think band-aids would work? Band-aid? Yep.
Oh, use a rope?
Yep. It's doing something.
Do you need a rope?
Maybe.
Maybe
Yeah,
after
let's
the
see. Yeah. This, Andrew?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Anyone want to try it here? You could do whatever. You could tame it in whatever way.
Thank you. Where does this line go here? And that goes this one?
Want to do something?
Oh, that goes on the bottom. Oh, this goes on the bottom. Yeah. Right. Let me try this one.
I had a band-aid on the back. There's a little scuff here. Might be nice to. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you.
I did my part right in the band.
Okay, no, thank you.
Oh, this one. Thank you. Oh, yeah. A bit wider, but you use like a paper clip. Or a nail.
No, they're all here. This little bunch together.
Oh, that's smart.
So that's indifferent.
It's pretty vented, honestly.
We might need more help.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's not in the best shape ever.
Oh, yeah. Something. cute.
Just a little shipping right there.
Perfect. Thank you. Yes, we need a lot of these. Oh, we have these two. Oh,
Yeah.
Found two pieces.
yeah. Oh, thank you.
Wonder where those go. Oh, that's a good one.
Our time with this. My mom is a concert violinist.
That's very flexible.
Okay.
Oh, it's looking like a violin now.
Oh, they're too into this.
Yeah. So many hands, but
Yeah.
lots of band-aids.
Okay, mine is a knuckle.
Oh, actually, that worked right.
That's just like you.
Please don't destroy this one.
That one's a little different than the others. Have you already They are the ones that we have for this event. They're essentially like junk files. They're poorly made, so we don't get
This is like for.
Those up down there. Yep. Those open there.
look at that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I use this to hold it together.
Yay. There's a highly emotional ability.
Maybe we'll.
Can I hold it
Oh,
down?
there you go. That's a good one.
Beautiful.
Yeah. That's a heavy duty one.
Is she done fixing that one?
Thank you.
I think we're almost there.
Oh, where does it?
Go anywhere, I guess, at this point. Back there. On this side? Oh, yeah, yeah. Where is that?
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Yeah, so where is it? Oh, you're right. It is over here. Yeah.
Yeah.
All my friends. Like literally, when I asked them to make wishes, they just project. It's kind of like a wish tree up there.
Other piece.
If we can get that in there somehow.
Down there. Went there.
Having quite the Franken violin.
There you go.
That should hold on the chin rest. I don't know. I guess it's held on with gauze.
Or we'll find a new place for it to go. We'll go in here. It can be
How does he look?
Any open space at this point is open space. It does go somewhere over here. Somewhere over here. Went somewhere here. Something under there.
Thank you all so much for coming. We're going to stick around if you want to continue to tinker with the violins, but it's been a wonderful night. Thank you. Good night.